Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. James here from Team Industry. And if you're watching this video, you're probably looking at which wrist wrap you want to purchase or which one's best for you for your kind of training. Now, here at Industry, we offer three different types of wrist wraps. We do a 16-inch wrist wrap, a 24-inch wrist wrap, and the longest we offer, a 30-inch wrist wrap. They're all made of very much the same material. It's simply the length that changes and the application of what the different length of wrist wrap is really used for. Quite quick to summarise. The 16-inch wrist wrap is your entry-level, day-to-day, general purpose for pretty much any movement that requires reinforcing the wrist joint when you're performing a pressing movement in the gym. Now, this can be a bench press, a shoulder press, a log lift. Maybe you're doing bicep curls and you've got some kind of pains that you want to kind of help reduce and reinforce in your wrist. 24-inch wrist wrap, just a bit longer than a 16. Two reasons really. One, whether your weights are increasing significantly as you're progressing through your fitness journey, or you're of a bigger build and actually the diameter of your wrist is bigger than sounds stupid, but you're bigger than a smaller person, right? So a 16-inch wrist wrap doesn't quite have the required length to go around your wrist and offer the amount of support that you need. So aimed much more towards the heavier lifts, entering into strongman, and when you really know what you want out of your wrist wrap and you're really focusing on a specific movement, probably a heavy overhead, heavy bench press or a heavy log lift, something like that. Now, when you get into the 30-inch wrist wrap, obviously this is significantly larger than both of them. And will wrap around your wrist multiple times. This is really a firm favourite if you're into your power lifting, kit lifting, where you're absolutely on the limit. PB, maximum bench press, hundreds of kilos, heavy log lifts, going for big overhead presses where you really can't be any compromise in what you're doing. But the one thing we would say is it's absolutely not for the beginner, not for someone who's never used wrist wraps before, and someone who really knows what they want to focus on in the gym. Our wrist wraps don't have a conventional thumb loop. We have an open-ended loop, and this can be used in two ways. It can be used in the standard fashion. Pop it over your thumb, pinch the wrap with your little finger and forefinger, pull tight, and pull round the back of your wrist. Now it's important to brace the section up onto the back of your hand and your wrist. Don't go too low, don't go here and then it's offering no support. You need to pull tight and brace the back of your hand onto your wrist. Like this. So that when your bar is loaded, your actual back of your hand sits on this ledge and help support the wrist. If you wrap it too low, here, you'll see that there's no support offered by the wrist wrap. You can also wrap them by passing the loop through the end, putting your wrist through, once again pinching with your little finger and your forefinger, pulling tight, and again focusing to brace the back of your hand to your wrist, and making that reinforce and ply, so that when the bar is loaded, this here offers the support to the back of your hand. This is a 24-inch wrist wrap. So once again, pull tight, pinch it with my fingers. Now that's going to go round once, round twice, and I can lock off here. And you'll notice now how this is even thicker away from the back of my hand and my wrist, offering a much thicker and sturdier support than the 16-inch wrist wrap. So to quickly summarise, as a rule, the 16-inch wrist wrap is your day-to-day general purpose, getting into heavier lifting in the gym. You feel like you're getting a heavier bench press, a heavier overhead dumbbell, and you want some kind of wrist support. The 24-inch wrist wrap is when you're really focusing on a specific movement. You're getting much heavier lifts. You're kind of wanting to increase your bench press. You're wanting to increase your overhead. And now that you know that you're getting nearer your max, stability really is kind of a key question and a key thing that you need to solve. And lastly, the 30-inch wrist wrap. This really is for on the limit, kit lifting, power lifting, people who have used wrist wraps for a period of time that really understand what they need out of the wrap, how to wrap it, and what it's going to offer them to assist with their lifts. So I hope that helps. Any comments, any questions, drop them below. Reach out to our sales channels. We'll get back to you as soon as we can and help you choose the right wrist wrap for what you need in the gym.